Okay, so let's look at the S5L, and I'll show you. It is the shape of an S5L, but it's not exactly the same shaped 7. It's kind of different. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna put them both on the screen. Let's put them both on the screen here so we can get this. Looks like I've drawn something there. Okay, so here's our 7L in the S3L. You notice we have like a 1-note thickness to it. I'm trying to demonstrate here the 7L properties. Now, this is a 2-note 7L property right here on the top. It's thicker, but it's still pretty much the same, and this has to do with shape fitting, placing the shapes in their proper positions. So right there, so we can see we still have the 7L right here. Okay, but we have this one is slightly different shaped here, but it's still the same 7L setup. Now, the original 7L X3XL pattern, 7L pattern, has a very like big 7L here. Now remember, this has to cover the S2L up here, 3, 5, 6 root, because these are pentatonic building blocks. And then it also has to cover the S2L like there. So this one was original. Let's circle out that S3L down here. And this one has overlap, right? And then we have the L part. And I want to remind you that this one originally was made for pentatonics only. So this is also a 7L shape. And I'll show you that. There's the Jerome C. Ambrose wetlands. That's good, but here we are. He did great things for the town of Huntington, New York. He kept those wetlands from being developed, from becoming anything, becoming a water cooling plant or something like that, or whatever they would do with a wildlife reserve. So here's it's kind of like a long 7L. It's a wide 7L, but when I originally made that 7L diagram, it Jerome C. Ambrose wetlands there. We used to go frogging there. It was like quick mud there. You had to carry a big stick. So that one is the original 7L, and that's the only thing I could really make out of it, that it had a shape. Now, while we're on this subject, when you put together an S2L up here, 3, 5, 6 root, and an S3L down here, or an S3S, which is just the S3S, remember, is just the middle part when we're doing pentatonics. So we're just doing pentatonics here. They hinge on the 2. There's the Lego piece. This is old stuff for me, but I enjoy, now it's got new meaning. Okay, so that's when we put together an S2L here, an S2L here, an S3S here, and an S3S here, add the 7 and the 4 into the diagram. Okay, what we're left with is, in the middle, we have this set of 3, a stack of 3 extra long, stack of 3 extra long right here. So it's pretty much a Mixolydian scale, and we're going to use these 3 to bring us away from the fret nut so we can play open string scales. Okay, so with the easiest one to look at starts on the 5, would be the A shape. So here's your A, All right, and usually that A-shaped scale would be pentatonic, let's say. But if we use the long pattern, starting from the 5, we've got, all right, so that has brought us away from the fret nut, and from this 5-6, we go into an E shape. Okay, 5th of E becomes the C shape. C shape goes to G shape. But how do you remember all that without going one string at a time? And that's what the subject of this lesson is. Now the long patterns are a little harder, so we're going to be focusing on the finger barred patterns. So let's go right ahead and do them. We're going to be working with root position, because as soon as we get into the shape of the 4th and the shape of the 5th, it gets confusing when you get into diatonic scales. That is certainly an advanced topic. You know, we're going to be working on that topic in the future. If I forget about it, you know, it'll be a while into the future. If I don't, it could be tomorrow. So let's make a mental note that we're also going to cover the shapes for the 4th and the 5th. But right now, we're going to look at how to play scales using the patterns. So C is going to be S2L, S3L into an S1C. Okay, and this is the string shape. I owed you this explanation. The C box has the string shape 3, 4, 5. And one more time with the string shapes here. The brand new chart is the one that we're going to use. This is 172. It's you know, key of cage long patterns for diatonic scales. The brand new chart shows the string shapes on top. So here's an E box here, because I'm down tuned, so my E box is down here. You know, it's actually, I don't even get these notes, but a virtual E box. This is the string shape of E. Here's the E box. Okay, then we go to the D box here, but yours would start right here. So your fret nut, the normal fret nut where this capo is, would be right here. Okay, so since that's where that fret nut is, that makes E the 3rd, makes it the key of C right here. Now we're looking at the C box. The C string shape is right here, 3, 4, 5. That's not, it doesn't get played up there. That's a label up there. The guitar itself, the fretboard itself, is this now. So the top and the bottom string are the S1 string shape. So here in the G box here, here's the G, C, D box. These are shapes now. They're shapes. So this is a G shaped C at this point. Okay. If we want, again, I didn't want to talk about the 4th and the 5th, but if we wanted the G shape there, it would be the 5th in the C box. It would be G shape. It would start on the E because E is the 6th of G. But notice that, you know, we're not in the key of G there, so we don't put a 6th there. It's the 3rd of C. So here's your G box. Here's the G shaped C here. All right, and we have the G shape is 6, 7 root. It's the top and the bottom string. That's what I wanted to show you. I owed you a little bit more explanation about the string shapes. What are the 1S string shapes? So that's what they are. The E box is 7 root 2. That's what it is. Bottom string of the E box and top string of the E box. Now we're going to go through our root scales, diatonic scales. So let's look at the C first. C is easy. It's an S2L and an S3L. S2L. An S2L is what? An S2L is a 3, 4, 5 C shape to a G shape. So it's just, there's your S2L to an S3L. Warp that up. C brings that over for us. It brings that 7. Now it's no longer shaped like a 7. Remember we were talking about shaped like a 7? Over here, S3L, shaped like a 7, but that 7's been warped over